I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is our first meeting of the new year, January 4th, I believe it is.
6th.
Excuse me, it's January 6th. You didn't see. Okay, it's your sister's birthday.
It is,
well,
yeah.
happy birthday to your sister.
Thank you.
And we've been here a year, and it's been a great year. I've been chair a year here, and I want to thank my fellow commissioners for their support and help and guidance, and most of all, patience since I've been here. I think I have discovered I had lots to learn, and dare I say, I am sure I have lots more to learn. But it has been a very wonderful year, and I think that we've made some progress. We have taken the lead in the regional network to end homelessness, and Beth and Bob Murray and with myself are leading that, and I think our agencies are working in a collaborative way and moving forward on that. And we've pushed the issues of wastewater and energy and infrastructure needs that we are facing here, and I think we have lots more to do. But that's the way government is. It doesn't go at the same pace as you would like it to go, but that is the public process. So with that, I want to thank you all. And it is time for reorganization and a new chair, a new year and a new chair. And with that, I think I would like to nominate Pat Flynn to be the chair.
Nominations don't need a second.
Oh, that's true. They don't, do they? Oh, they do not. Well, call for the vote. I will call for the vote.
I think you have to move to close nominations.
All right, then I will.
That requires a second.
Yes, it does.
Then
I'll move to close nominations.
Second. All in favor of that nomination?
Excuse me, all in favor of the motion to
Of the
close.
motion to close, excuse me. See, you see, I'm still learning. Aye. And all in favor of the, is there any discussion about the nomination?
I would like to say that it would be with great pleasure that I would place a vote for Pat Flynn, my old friend of these 13 years.
Excellent. Thank you very
Do you
much.
want to make a speech?
No speech.
Okay.
But we'll be talking all day.
Yes, we will. So with that,
No theater, okay?
I would like to have a vote on the nomination. All in favor?
Aye.
Madam Chair?
The floor is yours.
We don't have any orbs or scepters.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you have to.
Well, our crowns.
There you go.
Or gavels.
We can get you a gavel.
Yeah, we can get the gavel. We may.
No, I don't like gavels.
Here you don't. You can bring your one from Falmouth
No,
where you need it.
what's that?
I said you can bring the one from Falmouth where you need it.
That's right. I only need it there. I've only used it once.
That
Yes,
wherever
that's
you
okay.
sit is
And that bruise is still there.
Yeah.
And that's
You want to flex your power?
You get,
Have the
I'll
room
tell you, you
clear.
get a totally different view from sitting here. I can tell you that. No, actually, I'm really happy to do this, and I think I have an advantage in a sense that I had at least a year to work as a county commissioner and be able to build on the knowledge I already had about Barnstable County. So I feel a lot more comfortable now than I would have had I been you a year ago. So I'm looking forward to this. I think we've worked together this past year. I think we have a number of issues, very important issues to deal with, and I'm ready to do it. So let's start.
excellent.
Yes. Yes, a member from the press.
Actually, point
Yes.
of order, we haven't completed the reorganization.
Oh, that's right.
There's
We
a
have
whole
not.
list
Thank
of
you very
things that
much.
you should
There's a whole
have
list.
done.
Now I would ask for nominations for vice chairman.
I would like to put forward a nomination, if I may. I would like to nominate Bill Doherty as vice chair.
And a motion to close nominations.
I move to close nominations.
Second.
Okay? Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye opposed. Motion carries. So now a vote to
We are going to be reorganizing
We are-
Now we have the list.
our list right here.
no, we just closed nominations.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
You're right.
Vote to appoint Bill Doherty as vice chairman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye opposed. None opposed, the motion carries. Congratulations. Would you like to make a speech?
Yes, I would.
I'm shocked.
I would like to thank Sheila for nominating me for vice chair. I appreciate that nomination, and I think that I will do my best to both support our new chair as well as all the members of county commissioners.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, let's move on to the appointments. Okay, we need to consider a reappointment of Scott Nickerson as county clerk.
I would move that.
I will second.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None, motion carries. A vote to reappoint Nancy Weir as assistant county clerk until the first Wednesday in January of 2010.
I'll move that.
No, in 2011.
That was in 2011.
That's right, these are 2011. You seconded the motion?
Yes, I do.
Okay, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? None opposed, motion carries.
May I
Yes.
just ask this question as we go forward? One of the things I think we have to think about is whether or not any of us would like to change their assignments as we go forward. I would like to say that I'd like to continue in all the assignments that I'm presently serving in.
And I would as well. I think that we're just kind of getting
Used to
a
it.
handle on things, and unless there's something in particular you would...
No, I would like to continue and the ones that I'm doing this. So we
Can I
have...
just review them?
Yes,
Why don't we do that just for the
Yeah.
record?
So Sheila Lyons would continue as the Commissioner's representative to the Barnstable County Human Services Advisory Council. And then Bill Daugherty would consider in as the Commissioner's representative to the WIB, Workforce Investment Board. Bill would continue to be the Cape Light Compact's representative. Pat would continue to represent the commissioners on the EDC. Pat would continue, or since you just started, to represent them, the commissioners on the AmeriCorps Advisory Board, and Sheila would continue to serve as the alternate. And you would be reappointing, actually this is a separate vote, so I'll hold the Municipal Health Group.
I would move all of the
You want to move
previous
that one, then
actions.
you would be reappointing Margaret Downey as the county's
Excuse me, we
representative.
haven't- I moved it.
He means all the
for the ones that you just mentioned.
All the
Okay, got it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So you want,
I moved that.
And I
I
second.
second it. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? None, motion carries.
Now,
Now, vote to reappoint.
Maggie Downey.
Meg Downey as the Barnstable County's representative to the Cape Cod Municipal Health Group, and Mark Zielinski as the alternate for the period of January 5th, 2010 to the first Wednesday in 2011.
that's so moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? None, motion carries.
All right, so continuing with your appointments, to appoint Sheila Lyons and represent the commissioners on the Cape Cod Commission, and moving to the next, it would be to have Sheila Lyons represent the commissioners on the National Seashore Advisory Council with Bill Clark serving as the alternate. To have Bill Daugherty represent the county commissioners on the Cape Cod Cooperative Extension Advisory Council. And there is no action on the next one, if you notice, because it's a 3-year appointment. That's Pat's, and so skip that one. Moving to the next one, which is to have Sheila Lyons represent the commissioners on the Children's Cove Advisory Board. And then have Bill Daugherty represent the commissioners on the Cape Cod Metropolitan Planning Organization.
I will move all of those.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I have-
Opposed? None, motion carries.
Okay, sorry, the last one, I went kind of separate because it was a temporary appointment.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know, I'll leave it up to you to
I think I'd
decide.
like to start a
Which is
discussion
this?
on that.
This is
Water
Cape Cod
Protection
Water
Collaborative.
Protection Collaborative.
Okay. I think that one of the things that I would suggest that we need to look at is that there is an issue with regard to the organization of the Wastewater Water Collaborative, and this might be an opportunity to think about that. We had appointed Sheila to temporarily fill the vacancy of John Hinckley, and I guess I have to ask, as to where we are with regard to the advice, the advice that we were supposed to give the wastewater collaboratives as we go forward, because I think that's an important piece of, let's say, moving that whole agenda forward.
If I may, I believe that the recommendations given to us by those we asked for their recommendations was that although they all agree that, and in the recommendations there was no dissolving of a 15-member representation, there was a request at this point, or a recommendation, that we approach boards of selectmen and discuss with them the need to have a decision maker, a person who can actually is in the policy making and maybe having some political clout, which would mean it is time for selectmen to maybe attend these meetings themselves, and those meetings can be rearranged to fit the schedules of the selectmen, because a lot of times they'll say, well, we're just too busy, we can make it in the evening, that sort of thing. And I think how it was left, and how my understanding was, is that conversation and agreement is sort of in being dealt with. I mean, I know that I've talked to various selectmen, and when they hear the logic of it, they agree. So I think that if we reach out to boards of selectmen, discuss our decision, and maybe follow it up with a letter stating that this is what we would like, and see what the response is, then we could go from there. But there really hasn't been a change in the board. There's really just a change in the recommendation that it was this executive advisory, and it really now is more of a technical advisory of our own
When they were
departments.
here the last time, when Andy Gottlieb was here and probably two people were here, I can't recall exactly the discussion, but I thought they were going to think about that and talk with the collaborative and come back to us with a final
Yes.
recommendation.
That's my
Isn't
question,
that
really,
exactly?
not the specific action you're talking about, but the
they're to come back to us
expectation that
and
we
there's
would
a
get
date.
them back, and we would have that, and with that, when we did go, if we decided that approaching boards of selectmen directly was appropriate, it would be on the basis of the advice that we gave. You may recall that George Bryant at the Assembly brought up the question as to what expectations we would set for the wastewater collaborative as a board, and then use that as a method of measuring their, let's say their progress. So I think that we need to hear from them sooner rather than later. I believe that at the Assembly, my recollection is that you said that we would be hearing that early in 2000.
Yes.
A specific date.
They're actually meeting next Wednesday. Andrew and I just had an email communication, and he is scheduled to do his budget presentation next Wednesday. Kind of swap them all around a little bit at 11. So maybe that'll all come much clearer next Wednesday at 11 o'clock.
So with that, do you...
If you want to defer this till next week.
Defer it?
I'd like to
Yeah.
defer that until we get those pieces together.
Okay.
So we would, I
you would
guess I'd
continue.
suggest that Sheila continue.
I will continue until we...
as the representative.
And then we'll pick it up.
There's actually no date on this anyway.
There's no action.
Okay.
No
No
action.
No action
No
required.
action, right. Okay, that's it for appointments.
I believe so. That's the end of the list.
That's the end of the list. Okay, so we can move on
Now we can move on.
to our commissioners' actions.
Sure, yeah, you can do that if you want. Yeah, you have
Do you
some
have
time.
any need for an executive session? No. So I have questions on number 9, which is approve the transfer of the jail operating fund to the Commonwealth. Is that actually the sheriff's budget, total operating budget that goes to the Commonwealth?
As we all do, he has a number of funds. He has his operating budget, his general fund dollars. He also has a number of special revenue funds. In discussions with the state earlier this week, they suggested that we transfer all of the general fund items to the state. They have not yet decided on how or when they want to do all of the special revenue funds. They're still working on those because, of course, many of the special revenue funds and grant funds have a negative fund balance. A grant, for example, you get awarded the grant, you spend the money, and you get reimbursed. So they have negative balances. They haven't figured out how they want to deal with those yet. We suggested that we transfer all of the funds over, even the ones with the negative balance, and if the check comes to us, we would send the check on to the state treasurer, and I guess they're contemplating that and how they want to do those. So right now, we're transferring only the general fund dollars.
All right. And then the other one was 13, to approve the lease renewal between the Registry of Deeds and Cape Town's assessor's books. What does that mean?
I believe that's the service they use for putting together their deeds books. I think it's publishing. Publishing is the right word.
It's actually in here. No, it
Yeah.
works correct.
Cape Towns. It sounds like South Africa.
I know.
It's not.
And the deeds and the Cape Town's plural assessor's book. Books. So. Yeah, when you want to find
Like the newspaper, you can never find it.
Probably at the bottom.
No, I started that way.
Yeah, it's the
That's
second
right,
to
by
the last one.
By default, it's like
I have no other questions, so we'll just wait to if anybody else have a question on
On
any
number
of the...
14.
Number
I'd just like-
14?
I'd like to see what the amendment was.
Oh, to the Human Services Grant Agreement?
Yes, to the town.
That's in here as well.
And that's part of the service that we do through the Human Services Department, administering grants for the town, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
We do that free of charge.
Yes, we do.
All right, Pat, I'll just pull it up in a second.
Anything I can help you with? Not that many more to go.
Here, find it. I stuck the other one.
Now, this is the lease agreement?
Yep.
A lease renewal.
Cape Town's assessor's policy now.
Are they leasing equipment? Is that what it's
Is
for?
it?
Delivered updated editions. No, we just get the updated
Editions of assessor's books.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
They deliver updated editions as available. An invoice on anniversary.
Oh, I see. So the Registry of Deeds puts these
Updates
books
them,
together and
we deliver them
then
to the
leases
town.
them back to the town.
Right, then we deliver them.
Lease is a weird word.
I know, a lease renewal. That's what I thought.
Well, we're leasing
maybe,
the
yeah,
books.
They,
it's like a
so
loan.
the towns don't own the books.
Right.
Well, neither do we, because we're leasing them from Realty Publishing of Real Estate Services.
Oh, I
Okay, they
see.
bind them,
Oh,
put them
okay.
together.
Right. So they,
Okay.
so that's what it.
That's
and
what
they're
it is.
updating them, which hence is the lease.
Okay. Everybody okay with that? 1 through 14?
No, actually...
Oh, you had a question on the
the
Human Services.
Human Services.
That's the last one.
What does that mean?
The paper clips, we do definitely have to put them together.
Yeah, the paper clips.
Stick together.
They all stick together.
While she's doing that, did you see my notes on the IT thing?
I saw that you had responded. I have not had a chance to.
The bottom line is the committee, I think you need to, what we really...
I think the committee is very
forward.
good.
Other than that, I think it was a nuts and bolts.
That was terrific.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in there. Yeah.
But it was from the point of view of the IT, and the point of view of management, running, getting the IT as a tool.
Yeah.
No, I'm just getting ready
no,
for
I'm not
George,
finding.
because he's next.
All right, well, she's not finding it.
Oh, yeah, no, finding. So let's vote 1 through 13, and then we can get back.
What
There's
is it?
usually some time pressure to vote on these things, isn't there? If there's an
I would
amendment.
think-
How is it worded, may I ask?
Time is-
Is it- I don't have...
It says
It's an
to,
amendment.
It's an amendment. We
Vote an
we
amendment.
voted previously for the, to support the Human Service Grant Agreement, And my interest in voting on the amendment is to find out what the amendment was. Not that I'm opposed to amending it. It will continue to support it.
My guess is it's a time extension, Maggie, but I don't know that for a fact.
No more paper clips or outgoing paper clips.
Yeah, it used to be small metal clips.
Right, they get stuck together.
Actually, I could do something while Maggie is.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
I should explain before we even start with George how the salary numbers are in all of the things that you will see. And I was explaining this earlier. Pat came into the office asking about this. I know it came up last week. I have prepared the salary numbers for July 1st of 2010. That is the first day of this fiscal year 2011 budget that we're working on. Assuming that people will be restored to where they should be stepwise. For example, if a person is an SPT1 on July 1st in 2009, at the beginning of this year, that's their anniversary date. On July 1st, 2010, they should be an SPT2. That's where they should put. They are given their step for this particular year is taken into consideration. So if they were to get a step this year, it's calculated in so that on July 1st, 2010, they're at the proper step that they're supposed to be, even though we skipped them for this year. What I have not factored into the budget yet, it will be a question of affordability, is the retro pay for that step for this fiscal year. I haven't factored that into the budget yet. I do know what the cost is to pay everyone their retro for their steps only, not for COLAs. For this fiscal year, it would be about $130,000. So that'll be a question of affordability when we get to that point in terms of the budget. And for 2011, I'm also figuring in COLA of 2%. We'll have to decide, and I wouldn't recommend doing a retro on a COLA for 2009. I mean for 2010. COLAs are really a discretionary item. We did say that we would look at that in January, and it is January. I have some concerns about some of the items still that are to be taken care of in the sheriff transfer. So at this point in time, I would not recommend that we do any COLA for fiscal year 2010.
At this point.
At this point in time.
Till we know more.
Yeah, I think till we know
Process
more
moves
about
along.
a couple of those items in terms of the sheriff's transfer. And I think we got a better handle on the revenue picture from the deeds. November and December numbers were very good. They were strong numbers. But I think we still need to be cautious on it.
There's a continued concern that that I have is that although I'm very supportive of making sure that if the COLAs are available for people that they're given there, that there's an understanding that I want to protect the job first before we give a COLA, that we balance those things based. I think we would begin to have some idea of available revenue to support operations, and I want to make sure that our first thought is to protect the basic employment before we consider COLAs. So I hope that that's what the way you're looking at that.
Yeah, I think as I said, we're going back to the STEP and COLA system for 2011. I think that's definitely the way to go. The question I have is in terms of the retro piece that we would owe people for this year. That's a question of affordability. Do we try to do it next fiscal year? Do we defer it for another year? Like I said, that's 130. And I have to say, the two unions that we deal with, both at the facilities and the registry of deeds, were very, supportive of what we tried to do this year, because I think they recognize that it was tough fiscal times. And it's going to be tough fiscal times next year. It's no different. It's going to be a tough year.
So the salary lines that we're looking at in this budget are reflective of a step increase,
That's correct.
but not a COLA. And any COLAs would be in a separate line item.
Exactly. The salary lines that you see in each department's budget are reflective of a step increase and putting people back at the step
Where they
that
should
they
be.
are supposed to be at.
And then, and there's,
And I did factor in, and you will see later on in today's budget, in the shared cost, a 2% COLA for next year.
in the
It's separate
special account
line.
of reserve,
Exactly.
just salary reserve.
It's a salary reserve.
Good, good.
I just want to point out that when there were members of the Assembly who have spoken to how pleased they were that all of the departments in last year's negotiation on the budget, that all the department managers had shown such a willingness to support the fiscal integrity of the county. And looking at this budget, it looks like that the ones that I've seen so far, looks like a continuation of that.
And there's nothing in the budget either that indicates that there are any indications of any layoffs or furloughs for 2011.
I don't believe so.
Not at this point,
No.
at least. We're not even expecting that right now.
No.
Because we do have a lot to resolve yet with the sheriff's transfer and the
We do.
state on these accounts.
Yeah.
And it'll be a while. And we also have before the Assembly today the request to extend the budget time
Yeah, public hearing
from
for that
February to
request.
March.
Yeah, to March, the third Wednesday in March. It's 3 o'clock.
To give us a little more time to assess what our revenues really are.
And if I can just add, in looking at the various towns and all of those who were going to also defer COLAs and that sort of thing, I believe, are the only government agency on the Cape that actually followed through on it and did it when it was all said and done. I'm not sure. There might
I don't know if we're the only one. I know there weren't a
There
whole
might be a
lot.
few individuals that
Yeah.
might have
I believe you said
stepped down, but they were very. In the end, all of those that were going to, many of those that were going to. Did
Well,
not.
it's a bargaining issue, and so sometimes it's the unions are not willing to
It's
go
very
in that
difficult
direction.
sometimes, yeah.
So they may have had to shift costs somewhere or
Right.
other if they went forward with the COLAs, but it's clearly a collective bargaining issue as well. All right, that's good. I think that's a good overview, and I think it's good for us each week as we meet if there's new information on the big picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
relating
And
to
I should
budget.
mention, but and I apologize to George. Now we kind of run into this.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
I will prepare kind of a revenue picture and forecast for you. I'll do that at the end of this week. I'll get it into your hands via email before next week's meeting. We can start taking a look at that picture.
Okay, good.
George, we don't want to take up your
wait,
time.
we have one more?
Yeah, one more comment?
You have the lease thing? I mean, the
Oh,
amendment thing?
yeah.
Lease on the brain now.
Is two of the grantees, their payout is being changed for their first quarter from $4,300 to $3,225.
And which are those?
Independence House. In Independence House. So they have
This is a grant that Harwich is
gives
doing and that we're administering.
Right.
We
But they
voted
reduce.
on a meeting, and the town meeting, and the town itself gives us the county responsibility for administering. I wanted to find out what, so
That's right.
If I see